Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most difficult TV scenes to watch.
You put a bullet in someone. You're not you anymore. You'll never be you again. But then you wake up the next morning and you're still you.
For this list, we'll be looking at the hardest scenes to revisit on our favorite programs. Since some of these moments revolve around major plot details, watch out for spoilers. Did we miss a scene that you definitely wanted to look away from? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10. Wendy gives up on her brother. Ozark. We all know how complicated family dynamics can be, but the relationship between Wendy and her brother Ben was especially catastrophic.
Are you trying to get yourself killed? Are you trying to kill my family? If you want to get killed, go run out into the street! Do you understand?
In the third season of Ozark, she takes in her sibling because he's having trouble keeping a job because of his bipolar disorder. While staying there, Ben becomes wise to the money laundering ways of his sister's family.
My sister is a monster, her husband is a monster too. You know what they really do? Who they really work for, Aaron? They launder drug money.
He eventually gets in so deep that the cartel sees him as a problem. When criminals order Ben's death, the audience initially thinks that Wendy will protect him, but she ends up abandoning an unwitting Ben at a restaurant before giving up his location to those who wish him dead. We struggle to look at Wendy as she grapples with what she's done.
I can't do this. I can't. What, do I stop him? Do I stop him?
Maybe just breathe.
What are we doing? What am I doing?
Number 9. Buffy finds Joyce. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Having to be a teenage vampire slayer can definitely put a strain on personal relationships.
Mom, I'm a vampire slayer.
While Buffy's role as a supernatural fighter often put her at odds with her mother Joyce, the two loved each other immensely. Unfortunately, after a long struggle with a brain tumor, Joyce dies from a brain aneurysm quite suddenly.
Mom!
In a gut-wrenching scene, Buffy finds her body. The young Slayer's desperate cries for help and long walk away from her mom are absolutely devastating. Buffy had seen more terrible things than we can count by this point, but this is one of the worst moments she had to endure. Number 8. What Happens to the Dogs? Chernobyl. This miniseries follows the true and extremely harrowing story of the Chernobyl disaster, a nuclear accident that took place in the Soviet Union in the late 1980s. While nearly everything about this series is difficult to experience, episode 4 offered a particularly painful moment.
Man was there, boom, stomach. I was so scared I didn't pull the trigger again for the rest of the day.
There were a plethora of terrible jobs that had to be done in the aftermath of the accident. A few of the local troops were asked to slay domestic and wild animals alike to avoid spreading contamination.
If you hit an animal and it doesn't die, keep shooting until it does. Don't let them suffer.
One soldier happens to come across a group of abandoned puppies. When he can't bring himself to go any further, his comrade handles the dark task.
Just go outside. Go.
Even though we don't see the graphic details, it's still a rough viewing experience. Number 7. Rue's entire breakdown. Euphoria. On Euphoria, Zendaya plays Rue, a teenager who struggles with substance use disorder. We constantly see her kind and sympathetic side, but that doesn't mean the show ignores the ugly side of things. In a season 2 episode, Rue's mother discovers that her daughter has relapsed and gets rid of all her illicit substances.
Where did you put it? Where'd you put my pills, Mom? Where did you put it? Out of my way. Out of my way. I'm calling the police.
No, you can't. You can't do that.
You will not attack me in my life.
What follows is an hour of terror where Rue proceeds to rip apart all of her relationships. She throws the most hurtful things she can in the faces of the people who love her.
You wish I was different? So do I!
She's physical, she's nasty, and the whole episode is a horrifying thrill ride you can barely stand to watch. Kudos to Zendaya for getting through this, because we almost didn't.
I shouldn't have said anything. I liked Rue the way she was.
Number 6. Wallace's death. The Wire. Long before Michael B. Jordan was a household name, he was still delivering devastating performances.
I'm saying it ain't your fault or nothing. Yo, D, look, I appreciate what you're trying to say and all, but I grew up in the court.
Back in 2007, Jordan gave his all to one of his earliest roles as Wallace on The Wire.
I mean, I like what you said about all that killing, you know? Especially that part about how it ain't gotta be like that.
He played a 16-year-old wrapped up in a turbulent world of illegal substances on the streets of Baltimore. Wallace served as the heart of the show, an example of a good kid caught up in a terrible situation. When he tried to get away from this dark world, Stringer Bell not only called for the kid to die, but ordered the young man's best friends to carry out the act.
You should have stayed down in the country, man.
Watching Wallace die is one of the bleakest things about the show, and for The Wire, that's saying a lot. Number 5, the failed airplane rescue, The Boys. Amazon's The Boys is a show that firmly believes that if superheroes were real, they would cause a lot of collateral damage. One of the most horrific incidents of soup negligence comes when a superpowered duo tries to rescue plane passengers from hijackers.
You okay, sweetheart? Yeah? Good for you. You guys are amazing. Fantastic.
During the save, the hero Homelander accidentally damages the plane's controls. Upon realizing he can't save all the passengers in time, he opts to let the flight crash.
We're done here.
Please.
Everything's fine, guys. Everything's fine.
He threatens anyone who challenges him. Additionally, when his partner Queen Maeve tries to save a few people, Homelander forces her to leave them behind.
Stay back! Let's go.
What makes this scene particularly difficult to swallow is the knowledge that the passengers may have made it if the Soups didn't try to be heroes.
I don't make mistakes. I'm not just like the rest of you. I'm stronger. I'm smarter. I'm better.
Number 4, Adriana's murder, The Sopranos. Nothing about The Sopranos is particularly easy to watch if we're being honest. The show is chock full of bloody, violent ends. Tony's gut-churning curb stomp of Coco in season 6 is definitely gruesome, but nothing was harder to stomach than the murder of Adriana La Cerva. Far into The Sopranos run, Christopher's fiancée Adriana was shaping up to be one of the show's only truly good characters left. But when Adriana revealed to Christopher that she was working as an FBI informant, we knew she wasn't long for this world.
Remember my friend Danielle?
She set you up?
She was an FBI agent, Christopher.
The show manages to trick you right up until the last second. For a moment, you believe that maybe, just maybe, she'll make it out.
Come on.
No,
Come
please.
Where you
Please.
Come on, come on.
Suddenly, that hope is crushed. Number 3, Negan kills Glenn, The Walking Dead. It's always hard to watch a beloved fan favorite character die.
Simon, what do you have? A knife? He had a hatchet.
But with Glenn, we really could barely stomach it. When he and his friends were captured by the villain Negan, we could tell something horrible was about to unfold. In order to punish the group, Negan threatened to kill one of their members. We see the survivor Abraham brutally beaten with a bat. Right before the nightmare ends, Negan is struck by the hero Daryl.
Take a damn look!
This act of defiance convinces Negan to slay Glenn too. The way Negan continuously hits the survivor, the horrific makeup, and the fact that Glenn's pregnant wife Maggie watched everything was nearly impossible to bear. The scene is gruesome and heartbreaking in equal measure.
I can see this is hard on you guys. I am sorry. I truly am.
Number 2, Walt lets Jane die, Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad has no shortage of stomach-churning scenes. There are tons of terrible events that happen throughout the series. We nearly went with Todd shooting Andrea at her home right in front of her boyfriend Jesse. However, the fate of another love interest was somehow more uncomfortable to watch and served as a harbinger for the bad that was to come. In season 2, Walt happens upon Jesse and his girlfriend Jane after they've spent a night using illegal substances. When Walt tries to wake Jesse, he accidentally pushes Jane onto her back, after which she gets sick and starts to choke. Instead of helping her by just turning her over, Walt just watches. It's sickening and just one of the many early clues that Walt is terrible.
I watched Jane die. I was there.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Red Wedding, Game of Thrones. The Red Wedding has become almost synonymous with tragedy and despair among diehard Game of Thrones fans.
If you think the time is right, Lord Walder, by all means, let us bed them.
Even those who haven't seen a single episode get this dark reference. After Robb Stark was sworn to marry one of Walder Frey's daughters, he married a woman named Talisa instead.
Father, Smith, warrior, mother, maiden, crone, stranger. I am hers, and she is mine.
Everyone thinks the problem will be solved if the young man's uncle weds the promised bride instead. But alas, Frey is not so moved. During the wedding reception, the jilted man and his warriors hit Starks and their allies with a bloody surprise attack. A pregnant Talisa, a direwolf, Robb, and his mother all die in horrific ways. Even if you know it's coming, this wedding makes for a gruesome viewing experience.
Lord Walder! Lord Walder, enough! Let it end!
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.